welcome back. This is Things You Ought to Know. I'm your co-host, Kelby Finati.
And I'm your other co-host, Erica Arnautovich.
What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about severe and profound, or I think just profound autism. And actually 2 days ago, so we're recording on March 19th, and on March 17th was the very first Profound Autism Day. So we thought we would touch on it today.
I wonder who makes those days. Do you know?
I don't know, but I'm like, they shared it with St. Patrick's Day. So like, obviously it can't be something where they like, have stakes or claims to it, because I don't think anybody got sued for it.
ProfoundAutism.org is maybe the initiator of the day.
Perfect.
We'll look into that. But
yeah,
thank you for making a day of it if you are the one that did it.
Yes, because it's a whole different thing.
Oh, it's a ball game in itself.
Totally. So both of us have boys, Porter, your son, and Luca, my son, who are considered profound at this point. And so we both have walked this journey, and I don't think either of our boys ever were really not considered profound from the day of diagnosis.
From my perspective, he's always been, I don't know, from a clinical perspective, right?
So Luca's in also, when he goes to school, he's in the severe and profound class is what it's called.
Oh, I didn't realize they had classes labeled like that too.
Yeah, like special needs preschool, they have like different tiers even of the classrooms. And so there's higher support needs. Children go with more aids, and there's a lower ratio and things like that.
So can you kind of give us the clinical definition of it, and then we can tie it into maybe like the worldly definition of what people see it to be?
Yeah. So profound autism, clinically speaking, would be somebody who is that level 3 or high support needs autistic individual. They're somebody who likely will never live independently. They will need some level of 24/7 care. They may or may not communicate verbally or vocally, but if they do communicate vocally, typically it's quite limited. And then, they often have lots of other behaviors that come with it. They can be very rigid. They can be very sensory seeking, like our boys are. I think Lucas spends about 90% of his day sensory seeking, and I know Porter does that as well. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of more like the clinical side, is they'll often have other behaviors with it too. So that's just kind of the clinical definition.
So visibly, and I hate to say, because like you can't see autism, but
we pay extra for it.
I know, right? We have the VIP access to the autism community.
That's right. We were like, don't make them look like it.
Yeah. Right. So visibly, you typically can probably see profound autism, or is that an ignorant statement?
So no, visually looking at a child, they don't have dysmorphic features or anything like that often. Now they can have a comorbid disability, like some kids with Down syndrome can also be autistic. So obviously they're going to have the facial features of Down syndrome.
Right.
But no, an autistic person who is profound is not necessarily visually. However, they're the ones who we typically say, you don't really have to understand autism too much. You, at this point in the world, like that person next door in the next Target aisle to you has profound autism.
So that's what I mean by like it's more of like the characteristics that accompany the diagnosis that make you, typically you could, like Porter, if we're in Target and he's vocally stimming and arms flapping, someone from a layperson can probably say and identify as profound autism,
correct,
right?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely. Or like they're the ones who may need the headphones, or they're the toe walkers, like they're the ones, vocally stimming, and things like that. Like Luca does his like the like all through Target, and I'm like, he's just greeting everyone, And I remember, actually, it's funny because I remember used to being like, it's like when he was like 2, 2.5, I'd be like, it's just his nap time. You just don't want to go into it with everybody. You wasn't mentally ready to talk about them with just a regular
random.
And now you and I walk into Hobby Lobby or wherever we're at, and we're like talking to everybody about it. It's like, that's just our boys, I have to tell a joke really fast though.
Please.
Okay, sorry. Here's my ADHD brain. I'm a little nervous about me too. Yeah. But when we were talking about it doesn't always, or we paid extra.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle?
Is it a stand-up?
Yes. His stand-up where he's like, just because I dress a certain way doesn't mean I am a certain way.
I'm sure I've seen all of them. But
I always think about that when they're like, oh, well, he doesn't look autistic. I'm like, yep, just because we dressed him up today, just because he dresses a certain way. So, yeah, Dave Chappelle, thank you. You've given me some comedic relief with.
Yeah, really.
When
Well,
says something
we have to
ignorant.
laugh instead of cry sometimes. So.
That's right.
And sometimes we cry too.
That's right. There's my joke of the day. If you laughed.
I need to figure out how to put in a sound bite for that one. The do.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I'll try. I don't know if my producer skills are that good, but I'll
I
try.
got this. I believe. If I can post on social media, you can do this.
Yes, you're doing good at that. Okay, so then that kind of gives us like the clinical and maybe what, if you don't need to know the clinical definition, what you're seeing out in the community is profound autism. What we thought we could do today is give like our one thing that you and I both think that people ought to know about profound autism from an autism mom's perspective. That it's been a crazy morning. So I haven't had a lot of time to think about it, but my initial thought is that it's harder than it looks.
Yes.
We make it look a lot easier than it is.
Yes.
You don't see what happens behind the closed doors or when the door shuts in the car and they're still having a meltdown. Or, you've got the self-injurious behaviors happening and you're just trying to keep your child safe from themselves. Mm-hmm. That's the worst part about it, I think, for me, is there's a lot of beauty in profound autism. There is the way that they see the world, the way that they interact with people in their own way. And when you can separate yourself and go into their world, you get to see that beauty.
Yes.
But them in our world is also a lot of heartache and pain that comes along with it. And I mean that in the most like gracious way possible. It's not anything negative towards my child, any of our children with it, but it's freaking hard. And we make it look a lot easier. We are really good. You want to talk about autistic people masking? Autism moms are really good at masking the crap that comes along with this every day.
Yeah.
That's a little harsh. Sorry, I don't mean to say crap, but it is
quite literally some days it is crap.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it.
No, it is. I mean, I think we just have to call it what it is.
It is what it is. Like, it's not, like, my whole thing is like, you go into being a parent, parenting enough is very difficult. Parenting a child with additional needs, whatever those needs may be. And then you have a child who has a profound disability. Like, wow, that's really painful and really difficult. And it's not, I want to make sure I specify this. Our children are not the ones that cause us pain.
Right.
It is the situation surrounding them and the world that surrounds them. I want the world to be kind to Luca and Porter. And I want to educate. That is why we're doing what we're doing. That's biggest part of our mission is we want to educate and we want to provide this judgment-free platform for other moms to feel like you're not alone. Because it's freaking hard. It's hard and it just sucks.
It just sucks sometimes.
Sometimes it just sucks.
Yeah.
And then you and I have talked about it and then you get that beauty moment. And then it's like, it's worth it. It's okay.
All of it is worth it. I think that's like at the end of the day, you just keep going. That's what, in my opinion, that's what God put me on this earth to be Porter's mom. He handpicked me especially for him and you for Luca. And I think that we were gifted this, this honor, this shield that we carry every day for our children. But that doesn't negate the heartache that comes along with it. It's something as simple as like we need a sponsor by Target at this point. We talk about them too much, but we were in Target the other day and it's like Porter's, and what I'm talking about when you can see profound autism, you can clearly see he's toe walking, he's stemming, and he's got his headphones on. They're bright orange. It's not like you're missing that he's got these sound canceling headphones on. And this girl was just in her own little world on her phone and had no regard for my son and basically pretty much almost walked into him. I wanted to check a girl and I was like, Mama Bear was going to come out. I didn't. I took a breath and we just kept on going, and Michael, we were all together as the family. And it's just things like that where it's like, those are the things that you don't deal with in your neurotypical world on a daily basis. And then after that, I won't shine light on too much of Porter's behaviors that cause him problems sometimes, but I've talked about it openly. He does have these self-injurious behaviors. They are very hard to mitigate in those moments and extremely hard, no matter how much therapy you have, no matter how many tools in your tool belt you support yourself with and resources that you lean on, it's still just freaking hard. Yeah. At the end of the day, your child is doing something that's not safe repetitively.
Yep.
And that is profound autism to me. And it's probably because it's the stage of life I'm in right now with Porter, but profound autism is very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard from a mother's perspective.
Yeah, it is. It's, it's wishing all the time to hear one word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what the word is at this point. Just say it, buddy. Like it's wishing to hear their voice. It's wishing to hear, like their thoughts on something. Like, how was your day? Silence. Mm-hmm. Like you don't get to have those moments that they kind of get robbed. And we've said that before. And again, we say all of this, please remember, we love our boys. Our boys are not our heartache. They are our pride and joy. The diagnosis and what comes with the diagnosis I think is very difficult at times.
Exactly. Sorry to cut you off. I think of it as kind of like the F cancer movement, It's kind of, I want to have like an F profound autism movement because it kind of aligns with that. It's like of course you're not upset with the person that has cancer that is struggling with all of these things that you have to now come in and support them on, but you still can say F cancer.
Absolutely.
And we can have all these stickers and posts and things like that. And it's the same thing. It's like you clearly, we want to bring awareness, profound autism. I can still freaking hate it though.
Yeah, exactly. Like I am all for my son at this point having autism. I just want him to be able to function in society, and I'm not saying that somebody with low support needs autism functions easily in society. So please don't take that comment and run with it. But I am saying that I want my son to be able to walk through Target and not have, a bunch of tantrums or meltdowns, or not tantrums, sorry, meltdowns, and my son is still 4. So tantrums, he is still a toddler.
Oh yeah.
So tantrums are still happening. Like, he still has typical toddler tantrums sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like you want that, you crave that. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. It's just, it sucks.
It does suck. I think it's like how we understand now for autism to be a spectrum. I think there's also a spectrum of parenting that comes along with that. And parenting a profound autistic person versus, a level 1, more lower support needs person is a totally different parenting spectrum.
It's a totally different kind of hard. They're both hard.
I think that's why, I don't know, like when I don't say profound autism. I think what I usually say, like my son he's nonverbal level 3 autistic, and that kind of gives more people context into our world. Mm-hmm. Whereas now I don't think autism is a blanket statement. I don't mean to say that at all, but I think it can be so generally used because there is more awareness about it that it kind of takes away from the support and extra support that profound autistic individuals need. Yeah. And I hate to say that because it's like, it's very controversial.
But our boys are like profound autistic individuals. Like I said, they are unlikely to ever be able to live independently. They need some level of 24/7 care. Whether that be all the way down to toileting or not, like they need constant supervision and constant support. I mean, I can't imagine a day where I would feel comfortable, even when Luke was 15 years old, to leave him home for an hour for me to run to the grocery store. I don't feel like there will be that safety awareness.
We pray there is.
I pray.
So therapy interventions and things like that. Obviously, that's like the goal.
Right. I'm not giving up.
But I see that. I'm with you. I mean, when you think about profound autism, it is planning your future to have your child with you always.
Yeah. And like, there's so many like quotes and things like that about this, but like really stop and think about that. You as a parent typically raise your kid until they're 18. And of course, they're still on your payroll through college and things like that.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. Yeah. But think about it for real until the day you die. And then when you die, what happens to your kid? Do you thrust them off on their siblings? I don't know. Like, what is the right answer?
I don't think there is when it's a case by case, but that is profound autism. That is parenting profound autism. It's exactly that. It is planning for a future to have your child after 18. We all know that resources and usually just extra support from anything goes out the door when they turn 18. So it's solely on you as the parents. And then you think about the single parents that'll be doing that for their entire life. And then the parents who have some type of illness, or you have to think about your own death. Profound autism is thinking about your death every single day.
And what is going to happen to them?
I mean,
and if you have other children. to your other children.
Exactly.
Like, do I thrust my daughter into being Luca's sole caregiver? I don't know. Like, she's not old enough for me to even have that conversation with her. I can't imagine at this point, and obviously I know everybody's case is different. At this particular moment in time, I don't foresee that being something I want her to have to take on.
Yeah.
I want her to always be there for him and look out for him to some degree. But
she deserves her life.
She deserves her life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, I don't think it's wrong if you do kind of say you're going to, as a sibling, I don't think that's wrong. I don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. I guess we're talking through it, and we'll be talking through it probably until
for the next 18 years.
Yeah. So buckle up, guys. What a fun conversation we're going to have. But yeah, I don't think we know the answers to that. And you don't know until you don't know until you're in this position.
And it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
What fits for you and Luca and Zara is going to be different for me, Parker and Porter and Michael. It's like, It's so different. It's a case by case situation, but I think that's where the spectrum comes in. That's where understanding, I think if you could just give insight into what profound autism is from a parenting perspective, then I think it gives people understanding on how to better support you around you.
Yes.
So like, a recommendation from someone that is in this every day is like, you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You got to talk about it. When Erica got over here today to record, it was like, I'm running around with like a chicken with my head cut off. Porter's RBTs have been called out sick for the last 2.5 days. Finally got him to therapy today. But the last 2.5 days have been true hardships with his profound autism. He's out of his routine. He's, I've got his brother here all day long. That can be sometimes a trigger for him. It's been very difficult. Yeah. And that's my everyday.
People with profoundly autistic children, mothers especially, I think they say, and I genuinely believe them, that there is a level of PTSD equivalent to that of a combat soldier.
Yeah.
I don't obviously want to put that out there into the universe. A combat soldier would be like, you have no idea, lady, but at the same time,
but also come off in my shoes.
Yeah. So like, I'm kind of like, I kind of really believe that, because there are triggers for me the same way. Mm-hmm. Like, there's days where I'm just like, I need to break down for a minute.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back up and we'll do it again. And we're not afforded the luxury to break down for very long.
No.
Because we both have other kids too. We got to keep going.
I think that's where the community aspect comes into play. That's like me having you, hopefully you having me. Yes. We have each other, where it's like, and we're building that community, trying to in our local community here, and then growing it across multiple platforms with the podcast. But it is where you have to lean on each other, and you can talk about those, taboo topics openly. And it's like, I lost my crap the other day. I did not handle that appropriately. I'm a little embarrassed, but it is what it is. And then I'm able to honestly tell you that, and like, you can validate it.
Really understand. Yeah, girl, me too.
Yeah.
I tell you about last week.
Yeah, it just happened. That is, and that's where you have to lean on each other. We have to talk about the untouchable topics, and we have to come together as moms and as caregivers to be able to say, like, this is really freaking hard.
Yeah.
Profound autism is very freaking hard, but it does deserve its own day.
It does. 100%.
It absolutely does, because it definitely needs to be highlighted and brought awareness to it, because it can get lost in the general autism world.
The voice that those lower support need autistic individuals are starting to have more and more, and I love that.
Me too.
It is so encouraging. There are celebrities almost now that have autism, and they are, those lower support need individuals. Again, not saying they don't have supports that are needed. They're just lower support need individuals. And so I feel like that is becoming more of the face of autism. And yes, that is still autism. They still deserve to be recognized as an autistic individual. I'm not saying they don't, but it is a whole nother ball game when you have a severe and profound child. So yeah, I think that's our point today, is just like, we're very, I think, appreciative of the Profound Day, both of us having boys who are considered severe and profound. And so thank you to whoever did that. March 17th was the day. We look forward to March 17th every single year now, because that is truly a day that is acknowledging what our boys and our families really go through.
And I think that's how we make the difference. That's how we let the world know we keep talking about it, and we keep bringing awareness to it and support the Profound Autism community and all of the autism community. But that's a little bit more of our niche hood is on that profound side. Catch me on one of those days and I'll be like, I don't know what we're doing today. We're doing something. We're going to try and go on a walk. We're going to try and figure it out.
We're getting out of the house today.
Yeah.
Big day. Yeah. So I think the one thing I'm going to say that I think the world ought to know, and I think we pretty much touched on it, is just believe us. When we tell you how hard it is, don't try to reconcile it for us. Don't try to do anything about it for us. Mm-hmm. Just believe us, understand us, as much as you can, and just say, can I do anything to help? Mm-hmm. Like, really, and sometimes it's going to be, nope, just thanks for letting me vent. And sometimes it's going to be, can you take them for an hour? Mm-hmm. I need a shower, and that's the best response, in my opinion, is just, what can I do to help? And I believe you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Acknowledge our feelings.
I love that. It's kind of how you coach your husband to be with you. It's like, I don't need you to fix it. Just need you to hug me for longer than 10 seconds so I get that endorphin release.
Yep.
And just validate the feelings. I love that that's your ought to know moment, because it's so true. I think in partnership with what you just said, I want to say thank you to all of the support systems that do help the Profound Autism community, because you go unnoticed a lot. So all of our therapists, all of the community members that help and see a mom breaking down in a Walmart or Target. I'm a child at Walmart that time, but anywhere, and you step in, thank you, because it's a hard world to be in it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I really wouldn't. He is perfectly made in God's image, and I believe that full-heartedly.
Yep, I do too.
But it's tough.
But it doesn't make it not hard. Yeah, we love our kids.
Yeah,
and they're perfect in our eyes, and we wouldn't change them for anything. But
we want to help them.
We want to help them. We want to support them. So we're just very, very thankful for anybody who gives a nod, a smile, a wink, like, got you, like, you're all right. If they're screaming in Target, yes, absolutely, I agree. Just thank you for not giving us the, like, what's wrong with them, So I think we can close out.
Yeah, that was good. Before I tried to cry some more, I was trying to get through it without crying. I was like, I can't let it like a child.
This is the one day Erica's here with makeup and hair done. So
we haven't met her. This is Erica. She's together today.
I think my thoughts are going to go viral.
They might. Well, thanks for letting us talk to y'all openly and open-heartedly. We really appreciate it. We always can come to y'all and give it to you straight. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
All right. Well, until next Friday, y'all have a great week. Bye.
Bye.